Hi guys, and welcome back to Rachel's Enchanting Cakes. I do hope you're all keeping safe and well. Today we are making these adorable frozen themed cupcake toppers using the new cake trend of 2020, the sugar sheets. I'm going to take you through everything step by step in this detailed tutorial so that you can make your own tiara themed cupcake toppers that are completely edible. Happy baking, guys, and remember, I will be back soon with more new, completely free content. Here I am using the Renshaw's Extra Baby Blue Ready to Roll icing, and here I have a circle cutter the size of the top of a cupcake. Sprinkle down your work surface with some icing sugar and taking a small amount of the fondant. I am leaving this fondant and not turning it into modelling paste as it will set naturally. I roll this out in between 5mm spaces. Then taking the circle cutter, I simply cut away a circle shape. For the embossed letters, I am using the cookie set by Sweet Stamp by Amy Cakes. Using a small piece of fondant, simply remove the letters that you need. I then arrange the letters inside the actual cutter just so I get them the correct shape and spacing apart. And taking the tacky pad, which is specifically for cupcake toppers, I place this directly over the top of my letters so that it's very easy to emboss the cupcake topper. Simply push this into the soft fondant to emboss those letters. Once I have added the remaining letter, I then simply take a quilting tool and add a quilting effect directly to the cake topper. Using a ball tool, I now add a few indentations where I can add some silver edible pearls. And finally, before we make that beautiful edible tiara, I now use some dark silver metallic edible paint and paint the Let It Go embossed letters using a very, very fine paintbrush. Again, this is by Sweet Stamp by Amy Cakes. Now we need to make the actual sugar sheet recipe using 90 grams of caster sugar and some liquid food colour like I have here. Simply start by adding it to a bag with a colour of your choice. So in this case, it's blue. And as you will see, eventually with enough mixing in the bag, the sugar will actually turn colour. Place this into a bowl and add 1 tablespoon of liquid glucose to the 90 gram of caster sugar. I have halved this recipe. Simply mix this together at first with a spoon and then just get your hands in there. And there you have it. That's the basic sugar sheet recipe. This is what we will be using to make those beautiful tiaras for the cupcakes. Start by taking a small amount of modelling paste and colouring it the colour of your choice. In my case, this is teal. If you have never coloured your own modelling paste or fondant before, you just take a very small amount of the highly concentrated food colour using a cocktail stick, place it directly on there and just knead it in. We now need to make a support to hold the actual sugar sheet. So roll out your modelling paste so it's very, very, very thin. I then use the Tiara Cutter by FMM Cutters. I will leave a link to these just below this YouTube video. And I use the smallest one. It's very, very, very tiny. But if used correctly, it is easy to use and it leaves a beautiful effect on those cupcakes. Simply place this directly on top of the modelling paste, really push it down, rub your finger over the back and remove any of the excess modelling paste. We then need to very, very carefully take this away from the actual cutter. This can be a little bit tricky, but take your time, and because you have used modelling paste, it will come away an awful lot easier, and hopefully, as long as you've got a good quality modelling paste, it won't distort. Now it's time for the fun part, the sugar sheets. So taking a very small amount of the sugar sheet recipe that you've just made up, place this in between two pieces of baking paper. Using a rolling pin, very carefully roll this out so it's extremely thin. You will then take the same cutter that's just previously been used on the modelling paste and cut out a tiara. You want to place this in your oven for 5 minutes at 50 degrees centigrade. Once you have taken this out of the oven and allowed it to cool for a few minutes, add some edible glue to the tiara made from modelling paste. Simply place this directly on top of the sugar sheet that is still in the mould, and then carefully peel it away just like we did with the modelling paste. Because you have allowed the sugar sheet to be in the oven for a short period of time, and you have also allowed it to cool, it will have set and it comes away an awful lot easier. Then simply wrap the tiara around a very small circle cutter and allow to set at an angle. We can now add this directly to the cupcake topper using a very small amount of edible glue. But look just how beautiful and sparkly this is, and it's completely edible. And finally, just for a few finishing touches, I add some sprinkles with a small amount of edible glue. Happy baking, everyone. Do take care of yourselves, and I will be back soon with more new, completely free content.